I kind of forgot about that. But
That is my
Yeah,
that
it's
is my not conspiracy theory of the month. To me, that's murder. Like, you're trying to fucking kill somebody.
But I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I probably am. So I don't necessarily think this.
Better go to the bathroom because the show's about to start. So, I've never really considered myself to be like a conspiracy theorist, right? I always feel like you just kind of get down that road and you get into like a vortex of like, in the world of conspiracy theories, the more evidence against the conspiracy they use as evidence for the conspiracy. So everything gets kind of like twisted and you just, you don't know who to believe. And yeah, it's hard to just discern the facts from the fiction. Now, recently we talked about like some of the books that I've been reading, and one of them was that the history of the CIA, the Legacy of Ashes book, which was phenomenal and opened my eyes to like, look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I've never been like a Yankee Doodle dandy, like, whoa, America's the greatest thing ever. Like, I try to like hoe my own road, if you will, in a certain sense. It's something like the last couple of years, like, things happen. A certain thing in America has just not made any sense to me in any way. And that is fentanyl. Okay. And here's why. Why would a drug dealer want to kill his customers? Was my number one question in the 1 week. When fentanyl came on the scene, I went, why in the world would a drug dealer want to kill their own customers? And I got a couple of answers to that. And there's a little bit of something in there in the world of like in the heroin drug people, which I have no experience with and never will. Like, I don't need to know everything. That's its own thing. There's like this mentality, like if you've got the good shit and it kills a couple of people, that's good because those people were just weak. That means your shit's really, really good and the hardcore users want it. So there's like a fine line in that world. But when fentanyl came on the scene, it wasn't that. Like, I mean, you guys would agree with that, right? When fentanyl came on the scene, it was that like, holy shit, danger, danger, danger. Everyone was hitting the panic button. Right.
Yeah, I feel like prior to like kind of like what you're saying, like with heroin and cocaine, and marijuana, because we know how many people overdose from marijuana every day.
0 in the history of the world.
But if you look at over time, 0 has increased to 0
exponentially.
So that's like
exponentially. Yeah. So we got to look out for that.
Just saying. But you're right. Like you said, just like heroin and cocaine, like those people that unfortunately did overdose. And I don't know if this was right in Dare when they said this, but they said like 10% or there's a certain percentage of population that like, as soon as you take the smallest amount of cocaine, you could overdose. And I think that was a scare tactic that they told people to like, I mean, because everybody, there's allergies and stuff. You can have an anaphylactic reaction. But I think like heroin and cocaine, alcohol, I mean, those are things that like you can just OD on by too much of. It doesn't matter that the bartender, like you go into a bar and be like, hey, bartender, give me 2 shots of Jack Daniels or give me 2 shots of Everclear. And the bartender's like, you sure, bud? And you're like, I've had a shitty day at work. Bartender doesn't know that you have one kidney that's on its last fucking leg and you want to kill yourself. Whatever, like somebody that's like that, those 2 shots are really going to kill you. Like most people would just have a bad day the next day, right? But in the same thing with like heroin or cocaine, like or methamphetamines, there's certain drugs that like some people biologically, physiologically can't handle. And to your point, no, drug dealers don't want to kill their clientele. They want to keep them around because they're going to make money off of them. And they didn't want their people to OD on it, except for maybe on those occasional events like, hey, this shit's real strong. Oh, morbidly good marketing. But no, they don't want to kill people. They want to have return customers. So fentanyl is, you're right, a weird.
So when it came on the scene, it kind of piqued me a little bit. And I had heard some stories. Like I've got, a friend of mine who lost a good friend to that. I've known a few people that have lost people to overdoses of fentanyl because they didn't test their drugs, and that was their drugs of choice.
You remember? Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just real quick, but and I guess I want to give out the name, but you remember Stormin that came down with me. He has his dad and has a group of friends, and a couple of them passed
Okay.
away because there was a
Gotcha.
lace joint,
With a lace
fentanyl.
fucking joint, like, that's just shitty,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, how shitty is that,
So that's
right?
like, I mean, to me, that's murder. Like, you're trying to fucking kill somebody, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it's
So so
the
there was
fentanyl,
always this
and it's
story, when crack became a thing, that the government put the crack on the streets, right? I have not read any investigative journalism to this point, but I feel like there is some truth to that, and I'm happy to be wrong, and anyone can correct me if my facts aren't right, but I feel like that's pretty much what happened, that the government, kind of put crack on the streets, and we all know which neighborhoods they were targeting with the crack. Crack's just cocaine, right? But they weren't looking in the white neighborhoods for cocaine. They were looking in the black
nope.
neighborhoods for crack. So, and the
Yep.
penalties for crack were like 120 times stronger than cocaine. And that just yeah, that shit was all whack. That's a whole other fucking episode to be clear. Anyway, I digress. So, as like the other day when there's just more and more of this ice crap in the air, and there's more and more of these private detention centers, and then fucking Dingus Khan goes and nominates some dude who's been in charge of a private prison system to be in charge of ice. And I've been following private prison stories
For
for
profit too,
years
right?
now. I'm sorry, say that again. Yeah, I
For
didn't hear you.
profit too, right?
Private for
Absolutely.
profit.
For profit.
Yeah,
Yeah, none of this shit's on the what they don't do anything,
out
altruistic.
of the
No,
goodness
no,
of
no.
their heart, right? Yeah.
So, and it's just more and more. Like, I've been following the whole pipeline of these private prisons and stories of private prisons for going on probably 15 years now. So when you see that, and then you see fentanyl as like, and then you see things like weed being legalized and mushrooms and psychedelics being more and more embraced. My whole theory is this whole time is like, well, watch out, because they're going to have to make something else illegal, because they ain't going to not make their money. And here we are with fentanyl and private prisons. So am I connecting dots that aren't there, or is fentanyl the pipeline to private prisons provided by our own government? Because, like,
Because
even if
you're
it's in
thinking,
Chinese, like, they say it's coming in from China, right? That's what I'm being told. Like, all the fentanyl is coming in from China. Okay, great.
yep.
Let's just say, for example, okay, that's true. It still has to get to an American drug dealer who puts the fucking fentanyl in the fucking drugs that he sells to his fucking customers, right?
Is he putting? But I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I probably am. So I'm not. I don't necessarily think this, but like, if the cocaine that's coming from, I'm sorry, the cocaine that isn't coming from Venezuela anymore because we shot down all their little boats,
Yeah, there's no
so it's
cocaine
not
left on
coming
the
that way
planet, just so
anymore.
you know. It's all gone.
It's all gone. We're not getting it from there anymore. I didn't definitely have cocaine a few weeks ago at all. Certainly not. But certainly not. That did not happen.
Definitely didn't happen.
But it didn't have fentanyl in it, thank God. But my understanding was like the fentanyl, I mean, I'm sure that there's like I feel like the drugs that are getting the fentanyl is getting added outside and then sold. It's getting like it used to be cut here, right? We cut the coke.
Okay.
Someone dealer would get the coke, cut it here, strip it down, make the crack out of it, cut it down, cut it down. It'd get cut.
Yeah.
I feel like it's getting cut ahead of us now with fentanyl, and because drugs are illegal, we have no testing systems in place. When you buy it illegally off the street, you can't take that and go to a testing place and say, "Hey, test this Coke or test, to make sure has no fentanyl." You can't do that. You just have to be, I don't know. And that's
You
probably
see,
an altruistic view of drug
I just saw
dealers.
footage from a drug bust like the other day. Like, they were bragging, and it was like, here's the coke, here's the fentanyl, here's and it was that. And you can get testing kits to test your drugs.
Oh, yeah, I guess you
You
can.
really
I
can.
mean,
Like,
yeah,
because
right. You're right.
I mean,
You are right.
really can.
Yeah. Um, you're right. I kind of forgot. Technology is wonderful nowadays. We've come a long way. So that is amazing. I kind
So
of forgot about that. But
that is my
yeah,
that is my not conspiracy theory of the month, that I'm like, I can't look like fentanyl, private prisons. Like, there's a connection there. That's my conspiracy theory, not conspiracy theory of the month. Like,
But I mean, so you're saying like, so how are the drug dealers complicit in this scheme?
I feel I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, I feel like this is kind of like the crack thing. Like, our government is putting the fentanyl on the streets and putting it where they want it in order to put certain
So you're,
people in jail.
I mean, so you're kind of
And then
more saying that like the there's agents that are there's United States agents that are sort of distributing this at some sort of level, whether it's sort of high or low, to the people. So they're the ones cutting it. They're the ones getting the coke and the fentanyl and cutting it and distributing it to the drug dealers in the area
they're
to
probably the drug dealers too. Because, like, if you were a drug dealer, if you were getting a bunch of pills, would you test them to see if they were clean before you gave them to your people?
That's
I
eating
mean,
into your profit. I guess the premise would have
your
to be
term is
then
eating
that
into your profits. Sure, I'll give you that.
I feel like that would have to be then that most drug dealers then would be federal agents to do that. And I don't think that's the case. I think most drug dealers
Well,
are private agents, and there might be a few federal agents, but the few federal agents would have to be very, very high up in order to affect the distribution of coke mixed with fentanyl or crack mixed with fentanyl or methamphetamines
well,
mixed with fentanyl.
are we in agreement that they did it with crack?
Yes, I think 100% that the United States government, because the CIA was using importing cocaine and using it to fund the Contras and the Iran war and stuff. They were using it through cocaine sales, So I 100%, and it
But do
conveniently
you think
led.
they also used it to crack down on certain neighborhoods?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was the rest of that statement because,
Oh,
like
I'm
I said,
sorry.
they
Okay.
brought it in and stumbled. Like they
Yeah.
brought it in, used it to, and again, that's why there was a higher up agent that was somehow distributing it. What was the dude from the Denzel Washington played him, although it wasn't this was about importing heroin from Vietnam. But there was
Yeah.
another dude that was instrumental in importing cocaine from South America, very, very much the same way through the CIA, and they put him through fucking shames.
Yeah, I can't remember
I
the
can't
name either.
remember his name.
But I think my question is, like, so what do you think would be different now? Like, if they did all that with crack, what would be different now with fentanyl?
This is my thing because like what we were talking about prior to this, all they were looking for was convictions, but they kept people alive. Now they're killing people. A drug dealer wants to keep his clientele alive so that he can continue to make money. So it continued to work what they would bring in money through the CIA would bring in cocaine, they would make money, the local people would sell their crack and sell their cocaine, and then the cycle would repeat. Cycle would repeat. Everybody was making money. But with the fentanyl inserted into this, you don't get repeat customers. You get a field of death. And why do the people that are selling the drugs want to promote death? They don't. They want to keep the repeat customers. So either, and maybe this is the fact, maybe they don't care that people downstream are dying. So they just continue to buy this poison stream of drugs because maybe A, that's all they can get, or B, they don't fucking care. So they continue to sell it. But at some point, like if you're like, I'm trying to sell crack, trying to sell cocaine, I want to make money. All my people keep dying from this fentanyl. I'm not gonna get it from Joey anymore. I'm gonna go try to get it from this guy. Because I don't want to buy fucking coke that's crack that's all fucked up with fentanyl. So I'm gonna go try to get a clean supply of cocaine. And you go to a different supplier,
I would
right?
totally get what you're saying, but if maybe their intention has changed, let's just say the epidemic was to incarcerate some people, right? And to, like, show that certain societies, certain neighborhoods, and certain people were different. Like, right, that's that. This is crack. That's cocaine. That was that thing. So maybe the intention with fentanyl is a little different to where, because they're trying to tell us, right? The story that we're being told from the federal government is they are getting the worst of the worst off the streets, right? Like the biggest, the drug dealers, the murderers, all the rapists, the kidnappers. That's what they're telling us. So
By drug and law enforcement,
right, like
by like
that's what our
prison
federal
sentences.
government, that's what Trump has said. He's getting the worst of the worst off the street. So I'm looking like,
Okay.
where
Yep.
does fentanyl come into play in that? If if you can get it to the higher level drug dealers, not the street level, and you can then arrest them for having that, then you could tout that you're getting some of those people off the street, right? And like you said, if they kill people downstream, they don't give a shit. Like,
I
right?
mean, you can there's already drug laws in place. They can get him for cocaine trafficking and cocaine
Yeah, but
possession.
I
Like
mean, that these
there's no
people
reason to
love,
create another level of
That's what I was wondering about too.
but
Yeah.
it's because they
no
love a
reason to do that.
boogeyman. They always love a new boogeyman. I'll play the conspiracy theorists in this story, man. They always love a boogeyman. That's all they're
Sure.
ever fighting against. If you look at the right, they're always ever fighting against a boogeyman. And
Yeah.
fentanyl just
And
sounds like a new version of it.
which is I mean, which in that regard is a fair way to go about it. But and fucking the Golden Knights just scored, so it's tied. But god damn it.
God damn.
But I wish I had some fentanyl right now.
Okay, so but no, seriously, is like a little bit of fentanyl good? Is like I don't like I
No,
know it's like
no, it's not.
okay,
Unless
so it's not
administered
one of
by
those
a
drugs where
medical
if you do a
professional.
tiny bit, you're okay, but if you just do a little bit too much, you're fucked. Because I know
I don't
drugs are
know,
all
but
about
I want
dosage.
zero of it.
I don't know. I know nothing about fentanyl other than people die as soon as it
I
comes
want
into their drug.
0% of it.
Yeah.
I would try heroin before I tried fentanyl.
So I wouldn't even I wouldn't know the difference between any of them. So like I said, this was
And I don't want to try heroin.
absolutely not
So I'm just saying,
right.
I would try that before, and I don't want to do the first.
So, like I said, this was just my wacky down the rabbit hole conspiracy theory for the month, where I feel like there is some connection between fentanyl and private prisons.
What I don't think I like where you're going with conspiracy, but I don't think it has anything to do with private prisons because why kill people for private prisons? They could put people. Hold on. They could put people into jail. They could put people in jail for selling drugs to people already. Why do they need to put people in jail for selling drugs and killing them? I mean, they could. Why not add to the thing? I get what you're saying. What I think my conspiracy thing with fentanyl is you're a dirty drug user. This is what you get for using drugs. That's my conspiracy.
That well, see, okay, let's see, I can agree with you there, and that kind of goes back to my point. As more and more of the drugs become legal, marijuana and psychedelics, they're not dirty anymore. So we had to go find and crack. I mean, I haven't heard about fucking crack in forever. Have you heard a story about crack in 20 years? I don't know, but you know what I mean. I feel like they
No.
needed the next boogeyman drug.
Is crack not cocaine, but in a smokable form?
Yeah, cut up with some stuff. As far as I know, it's like probably
It's
very
literally
dirty cocaine.
no. This is crack. This is all crack is. It's cocaine mixed with a little bit of baking soda and water, and you've got crack.
So it's not
And it's
dirty.
amazing. It's really fucking good. Just let me tell you.
You told me your Mississippi story.
Oh, this isn't even Mississippi. This was fucking Charlotte. And there was fucking Alabama. There was Gulf Shores, Alabama crack. So I freebased cocaine in Charlotte and for a little bit, and I realized it was fucking terrible for you, and I stopped.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. It's very bad. But prior to that, we did a little bit of crack. We were looking for like ecstasy. I
That
think
was
back
the
to the time
story
we
you
just
told me. Y'all were camping or something in some nowhere town.
so no, it's spring break. So I didn't go to college, but I was dating a girl who went to Central Michigan University, which back in the 90s, if you look back in Playboy magazine, was one of the top 10 party schools in America. All right. So I wasn't there, but I met this girl at the Rock and Reggae Fest out in Oil City, Michigan, which is just like this private little fucking 10-acre land that a dude put on some reggae festival, and everybody just went there and did acid and mushrooms and smoked weed and fucking had a great time, right? So I met this group of people, was hanging out with them. Actually, this dude, it's my second reggae fest. I don't remember what I was. I think I was on mushrooms this time. The first one was acid. The second one was mushroom. I was walking through the crowd and saw this dude, and we started quoting Slipknot lyrics to each other off the second album. He said the first opening lines of their second album, and I repeated it back to him. He was like, dude. And so we partied the rest of the day. And at the end of the day, it was like, well, hey, my friends have this party in this town and yada, yada. So we ended up going back, hanging out with those guys. Damn it, fucking, what were we talking about? The drug abuse is a terrible thing.
Crack's a hell of a
Crack.
drug.
Yeah, crack, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that girl that I met with her ended up going down to Charlotte. Ended up finding crack was a lot cheaper in Charlotte, or cocaine was a lot cheaper in Charlotte than it was in Michigan because it was just that much closer to the distribution, right? So I started buying it recreationally. I think we were working with people in the construction site. Just like a little bump here and there and stuff. Somebody showed me this thing you could do. It was called foilies. You mixed it with da 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 da. It was really amazing. Well, like really quickly, I realized like this is fun. I really like it, but I'm doing it like before my girlfriend gets home, like after work, before she gets home, and I'm trying to sneak it. And I was like, you know what? This is not a healthy behavior,
This
and I
might
fucking
not be
stopped it.
good.
I fucking stopped it. It's horrible. But
Good.
all I'm saying is I understand why people get hooked to it. It felt amazing. It felt really good. I just realized like this is not healthy. This is a bad thing to do. And fortunately for me, I was able to stop. It's a terrible thing, and I get why people maybe fall into that trap, and it sucks. And we should be sympathetic for them because it might be something that you try once just as a party with a bunch of people, and maybe with somebody like me who unfortunately doesn't have that addictive personality, and I stop, but you don't and you keep going down the path. So that's unfortunate for people, and that really sucks. That's why you got to really be careful with the drugs you use,
For sure,
and
but
who you're using them with.
you're also like most people don't have a problem. Like all of the drug abuse, alcohol to all of them, it's all a very hockey curve. Like the first third of the people don't do the drug at all. The second third, meh, a little bit. And then that third, it goes like the last 10% is what keeps all of it in business. They're the addicts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I used to
right.
work with a dude here in Charlotte. And on Friday
Call
night,
for nights 3 to 2.
you too. Okay.
Sorry.
Is like more than
Wait,
once.
wait.
He's like,
Sorry,
"Hey,
who
run me
scored?
down to Tuckasegee," and he would score crack, and that was his thing. Like on the weekends, he would smoke crack. Like he didn't drink; he just smoked crack on Friday and Saturday. Come back to work on Monday, and he worked his ass off. But I thought you had told me a story a while back where you and a bunch of people were, or a couple of people were like out on a biking trip or a camping trip in another state, and you were looking for some drugs, and you were like at a bar or something, and like someone's like, "Well, I got some crack," and a couple of you were like, "All right, fuck it, we'll give it a shot."
So yes, so it is that. So
Time
that
out.
girl.
Time out.
Time out. I'm cool with this, but didn't you want to have a whole episode dedicated just to this?
No, well, we got plenty of
We
drug
come back.
stories.
This
There's
is just
so
the tip
many
of the
more drug
iceberg.
Take
stories.
2 and action.
Tip of the iceberg.
So
You're right.
many more.
You're right. And that was and maybe that's where I was trying to get to with that story.
Who knows where you're
That
trying to get to? What'd you have for
Who
breakfast this
fucking
morning?
knows? Hey, you know what I had for breakfast that morning though? So yeah, so it was a college. She was at college. I wasn't. I was just at her college. They had spring break. I was like, I'll take work off for a week. So her and her roommate, they left. I was like, yeah, I'll ride down with you. And we picked up her roommate's boyfriend or on again, off again boyfriend down in Kentucky at a university in Kentucky and drove down to Gulf Shores, Alabama. It was in like late February. I think it was late February before Mardi Gras. So there's nobody in Gulf Shores, Alabama, except for like some old people. And we went swimming in the beach and people are like, oh, this is shark season. We're like, well, we didn't get bit. So we're all right.
Wow.
We're the
Really
only,
were the
so
tourists there, huh?
the total tourist, like
Absolutely the
just
tourists.
and the only ones there. It was like the spring break, MTV spring break, but there were 4 of us that everybody could watch. So we go from our hotel to like this 4th floor bar because it's right next to the beach, and there's nobody there. So the bartender likes us. He treats us real well. So we continued to go back there for multiple nights because there's a bunch of people come and eat some dinner and leave. So we're in there partying, drinking, telling them stories. So finally, we're getting ready to leave because our final destination is we're going to Mardi Gras. This is a Mardi Gras trip, right? So we're trying to we're tr- we're trying to score some drugs, right? And it's me and I can't remember what this dude's name is. It's Chad. I think it's Chad. But so my girlfriend and her roommate, and both are pretty cute and stuff. And so me and the guy are talking like fucking what are we doing with these girls? So we all want to get some ecstasy or something. So we talked to the bartender. We're like, hey, can we get some ecstasy? Is there any ecstasy around? He's like, yeah, I think I can hook you up. So we come in a little bit later in that day, and he's like, "Yeah, see those guys at the end of the bar? Go talk to them. Strike up a conversation with them." So we go down, strike up a conversation with these two people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, come with us. Come with us. Let's go to the first floor of the bar of the building, right, into their little apartment." And so we go in. We're kind of hanging out with them and stuff. They they're like, "Here, oh, hang on a sec. Go back. Oh, you go into the bedroom. Go quick. Go into the bedroom. We're gonna shut the door. The dealer's here." Go into the bedroom. They shut the door. We hear some stuff happening outside. I think what was happening is they bought whatever with our money and then cut it to give to us and keep some for themselves. So then they let us back out and then smoked some of what they kept for us with all of us, but they didn't have that at that point. They're like, well, we couldn't get ecstasy, but we did get you some crack. And we're like,
Gee,
that's not what we
not
wanted.
exactly the high I was looking for.
Yeah. But we took it, because we're college kids.
You know,
And so we did a little bit with them because
Drug.
we'd done cocaine. I mean, we'd all done coke. So we were like, what the fuck's the big deal with crack, right? So we did a hit with these people. And let me tell you again, this was one of the best fucking drug experiences I have ever fucking had.
I love when people say that.
I mean, it was amazing. We did it and we were hugging and high-fiving and it was great and fantastic. And literally, like they say, that chasing the dragon, like 15 minutes later, you're like, this is dumb. I'm stupid. And again, I'm not addictive. I was kind of like, yeah, no, that's dumb and shit. But we bought some, so we continued to do it from our drive from Gulf Shores, Alabama to Mardi Gras. And
Well, you're not just going to
it's New
throw
Orleans.
drugs away.
Well, no, it's a waste of money, right? And I didn't say it's not like we were smoking crack the whole fucking drive, but like we stopped along one of the fucking roadside things to do crack once.
Hey, you're responsible. I get it.
And it was terrible. Everybody felt shitty except for me. I was like, I just didn't. I mean, I didn't feel great. Like I didn't like it. Like the first one, amazing. The second one was like,
Meh.
nah. But everybody else felt sick from it, right? So we get to the New Orleans, right? We pull in, we find the seediest hotel that we can find, right? Because it's fucking Mardi Gras. They're sold out. We were college kids. We don't have a lot of money. So we pull in, we find this thing. All of us are sick about, none of us want to do this crack at this point. We fucking throw the crack out. We throw the crack pipe out and fucking go to bed, da da da. Next day, do our little thing about Mardi Gras, come back. All of us just want some weed, some ecstasy, some mushrooms, some normal, healthy drugs.
Be fucking drugs.
Right. So as we're coming into the hotel, there's these three guys up on a balcony leading into the room, and they're all fucking smoking weed and shit and having a good time. We're like, hey, what are y'all doing? Like, come on up, smoke. We're like, let's go. So we go up to their hotel room, and they've got a fucking briefcase, a professional leather briefcase, fucking that you might find in Pulp Fiction or whatever. They keep, the soul. They've got one of these. They open it up. It's full of fucking weed. They just packed like a half pound of fucking weed in this briefcase and they're rolling out of it and stuff, And I can't remember where they're from. They might have been from fucking Vegas. I don't know where they came from. So we're smoking and rolling with them. We bought like an ounce from them, and we're exchanging stories and they're like, man, this hotel is seedy. Can you believe this place, how fucking dirty it is? And we're like, yeah, it's terrible. And they're like, when we pulled in yesterday, we got here, we found a fucking crack pipe in the parking lot right out in front of our door.
Dirty fucking crackheads.
And all of us were like, that's terrible. We don't
know those fucking people.
You can't believe the people around here. Disgusting. So that was probably the story you're thinking about.
Yeah, I just remembered you saying one, like you were out somewhere and you were looking, but they didn't have any drugs and like they had crack and you're like a couple of you were like, meh, all right. So
we were told we were buying ecstasy and then it showed up and it was crack. But at that point we were like,
at
we're
least
not gonna
they
get our money back.
You.
They told us. They said we can come down and get ecstasy. And we're like, cool, let's do it. And they got down there and shit happened and came out and they're like, well, this is what we've got. And we're like, and again, hey, once in Rome, try it.
There you go.
And never again. Let me just say to kids out there, it's bad. And this honestly, I'm not joking. Honestly, don't do it. It's fucking stupid. Stick to fucking acid or mushrooms and weed and the good stuff. Even fuck alcohol.
Well, suffice it to say, as great as it was for those few minutes, it didn't last long enough to make it worth it, right?
Even if it lasted for 12 hours, it wasn't worth it. It was just.
Well, remember, AI. He's saying he also doesn't have an addictive personality. Like, you and I might
Yes.
have done this shit, and we could be in a whole different world. We'd be down at the bus station being like, "I suck your dick."
Yeah.
Look
Maybe,
at
I
that
don't know.
crack, baby. Because I mean, when I see what people are willing to do for certain drugs, I'm like, that shit must be the fucking bomb. Like,
Yeah.
so
And like I
I
said,
know
just
I
yeah,
gotta stay away.
all props and all serious and like to people dealing with addiction and struggling with that demon on their back.
Absolutely.
I feel for you because it is tough. It's very, very tough.
Absolutely.
And that first hit was amazing. The rest of them are not. The rest of them are not. So
Well, good
don't
for
even
you
start with
for
the
being
first
able
one.
to, like, have the experience and then back away from it and say, "Nope." That's a
See?
pretty cool thing, and it's like, yeah. Most
Okay.
people, that's like Bill Hicks, one of my favorite comedians of all time. He's like, the story you never hear on the news. Today, two guys did acid and had a fucking blast.
Went back to work the next day.
Yeah, no fucking problem. Because that's what happens 99% of the time when people do drugs. And it doesn't matter. I mean, whether it's ecstasy or acid or whatever, it's like the one that kills the most is fucking booze. Like we all know. Like that's
Yep.
the straight up devil. But
Booze and tobacco
and it's in every store.
or nicotine.
Yipper, but there you go.
3-2, about halfway through the second.
Who
Halfway
has
through
the
the
three?
second. All
Who's
right.
winning?
What's up, AI?
Carolina, or I'm sorry, Carolina's down. Vegas is
Yeah,
Ooh.
Vegas is up
unfortunately
3-2.
Real quick, you mentioned origin story for the Trump family, and we've been talking about sports. My favorite origin story for sports is the Rooney. I forget which Rich Rooney started the Steelers. Art. Didn't he make his money from gambling? Isn't that how he became rich?
It's possible. I
As
mean,
a gambler, he was that good of a gambler. He made enough
it's
money to buy
possible.
the Steelers.
There was horse racing back then. I mean, Richard Nixon, I heard stories where he bankrolled a lot of his presidency playing poker.
Wow.
So, did you have like a point inside of that, or was it just like the
No, I was just saying that was my favorite origin story. Was
well, that's how that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I mean, my God, JFK's dad was a bootlegger.
bootlegger? Yeah.
Like, there's some shit.
out.
Okay, so spoiler alert, kids. Some shady shit bankrolled this country,
Yeah. Which is,
and now
like I
we're all
said, why I
trying to
know
be all righteous about it.
that's why I no longer feel guilty about sharing my stories of debauchery for the shit I've
I go,
done.
fuck.
Fuck it. We've all done crazy shit.
That shit happened back then. Like, that we're still here. I don't care if the cops woke you up while you were sleeping on the street because you were passed out drunk and high as fuck. Like, go out, do the drugs, have the experience, be as safe as you can, but fuck, live your
And
life. God
be
damn.
safe. Don't hurt anybody.
Yeah, don't hurt anybody else. If you want to be a fucking, if you want to be an addict, we feel for you and we will get you any help you want. But if you just want to go down that road, take yourself down. Don't take people with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because we're all kind of past it now. Like, we're all to the point where there's no chance you can take me down with you. I won't let you. Like, there's no way. I'm so far beyond that. I'll feel for you. We've seen the people. Chronic, you and me, we've worked with Elkin and Eric. You've seen what the commitment that I'm working with our buddy Grant Zilla today, and I mentioned we were talking about kind of some of this, and I was like, you can say whatever you want. Elkin's a great dude. He fucking drove Eric to the methadone clinic every morning for 2.5 fucking years, and that kid's still in jail. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Hosted him at his home. Everything continues to this day, continues to do as much as he can for that kid.
And we watched
that
him,
guy.
like we both worked with him, and when that kid was sober, man, he'd work circles around both of us. But
He's a hell of a guy.
When that shit was gripping him, man, he was just a drooling monkey.
Yep. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I hated it for him because he was a great dude, and despite all the throws, he was a good dude.
He is, yeah, absolutely is. And have you heard anything about him? Last I heard, he was just in the jail,
in jail, in prison for probably most of the rest of his fucking life.
That sucks. Yeah, so that's what those things do.
Heads up, kids.
And there was also, he had a lot of circumstances in his life that made it easier to go down that path willingly.
Yes, definitely. It's usually not. Sometimes it is, but there's always circumstances involved.
And I could absolutely I could see having that addiction and having the circumstances and like the baby mamas and the drama and all the shit to where at the goddamn end of the day, prison's probably the easiest thing. It's not a bad structure for certain people. You know, I'd love to see that dude. I'd love to see him successful out on his own because, like, with the proper coaching and mentoring, he's amazing. But goddamn, left to
Mhm.
his own devices, this shit just ain't gonna work.
Destructive.
It's just destructive. So, like, yeah,
I was I was laughing. I was thinking of the Onion story about the autistic guy going to prison, and you wait. You have lines. You count every day. You wake up at 6. You wake up at 20, and he keeps getting more and more excited. The more the interview keeps going.
that's funny.
It's all fake. It's very stereotypical, but it's funny. It's cute. It's not terribly.
Nah, hey
It's
man,
funny.
in Shawshank they talked about it right in the movie. Like you get used to that routine,
Institutionalized.
like you get out in that world, like you don't know. Like I get it, like that it's designed that way to keep you inside of that system. So we don't have time for another tangent. We need to wrap this up.
Shout out to System of a Down, right? For about 15 or plus years ago, for they're trying to build a prison.
What did
Yeah.
it do? Say more. Say you got take a minute. Say something about
Oh, I'm sorry. System of a Down. I think it was off their the self-titled second album. No, Toxicity. The second title, Toxicity. Prison system song. Right? They're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison for you and me.
so they were
And
talking
they
about that system, like
yeah.
the private prison system back then. That was probably in the late
Yep.
90s, huh?
No, it might have been early. It was just Toxicity, so I think it was in two.
Or the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was late 90s. Yeah, late
Okay.
90s. Yeah, you're
But
right. Late
still,
90s. Yep.
those guys have always been on the front end. These are
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Speaking out against stuff. But
stuff like
yeah,
that.
just check it out amongst yourself. Like, go back, and it's one of those things like the like we were talking about with like the Third Eye Blind and Semi Charm Kind of Life. Sometimes you got to go back and listen to the lyrics
Yeah.
and, and listen to what they're talking about.
Wasn't a lot of their stuff talking about the Albanian genocide or something? Yeah.
Armenian.
Armenian, not
Genocide.
Albanian.
Yes.
Armenian
Yeah.
genocide.
Yeah, which Turkey to this day and most of the world
Still
says
denies.
did not happen.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
It's not a genocide.
Well, all right. Well,
Anyway,
we're gonna end
that's
on
happy.
genocide tonight. So yay!
But it's a happy note because we're saying it did happen.
We're
We're not
saying
denying it.
Wait a minute. That's not a happy note to say that
It is.
Oh, it's-
In this case, it is because before the unhappiness is that you're denying it.
we
We're validating.
acknowledge that those people were murdered. We acknowledge that
It's not right that they
it
were,
was certainly
but
not
they
right.
were.
No way was it
That's
right.
terrible.
We acknowledge
The
that.
terrible tragedy happened is
Yes.
the point, which is I don't know.
We would love to sing about it with System of a Down. Anytime you guys want to do a
Yes.
concert in Charlotte, we will promote you. We will sing with you.
Birds. Yeah, everybody, come
My
on.
favorite was is it Killing in the Name?
That was Rage Against the Machine. Yeah.
Close.
Who did you just say?
System of a Down.
My bad.
So
Okay. Wow,
I'll
that is
totally-
so weird. You said one thing and I heard another.
That
That is
happens.
weird. Yeah.
I would love to do. So I would love to do a concert that was. I want to call it "Let the Music Do the Talking," right? And just play all the political protest songs without actually being like fucking Bono and actually preaching to the people. Just play the songs, right?
Yes.
But I think like what would be the coolest thing ever would be to have all the acts before the show even starts. Have all the acts come on the stage together and play. What's the song by System?
We
of
Are the World.
No. What's the one that System of a Down does? It's like the party, the one that changes the God damn it.
Hypnotize?
No.
No, the pogo stick. No.
It's
Mm.
it's the one that kind of goes melodic and then it goes off the goddamn rails, and it's like really really intense. Fuck, I had it too.
Chop
No,
suey?
it's just-
Chop Suey, yes. Is it Chop Suey?
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And
There's
have
self-righteous suicide.
yes,
and,
but then it goes banger. Like it goes straight.
yeah. Oh
banger.
yeah.
And
It's a fucking awesome song.
have all the fucking artists do like that song and another song, and then like leave the stage and be like, all right, the show starts in 10 minutes. Like, I think it'd be like the greatest intro ever to have everybody on stage that was going to perform that day just like thrash into like Chop Suey and then just like, okay, well, your first act
You come out all together, not
as like,
one band at
yes,
a time.
as an intro before the actual show starts. Have all the acts come on stage together to do that and like get the show, get everybody pumped up, and then be like, all right, show starts in 15 minutes.
Nice. I got a ticket sold. One ticket sold.
I
All
don't
right.
know. That'd be a long 15 minutes because people are pumped up, and now
So
they
now
got
you're
this
pumped up.
15-minute down.
We better go to the bathroom because the show's about to start. But I think that'd be a cool concept. Like, let the music do the talking, like play
Yes.
cover songs. But as a promoter, I would be like, for the love of God, do not play cop killer or fuck the police. Just don't fucking do it.
Let's not go there.
You're not gonna get your point across. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's not gonna
No.
work. So please, for the love
No.
of God, don't do it.
You could maybe sub in like, ice killer for the cop, but not cops. We're not we're not.
I think we would just throw in the middle of the concert, like the line from the movie Titanic, iceberg dead ahead. It's like,
And everybody's scattered.
right? Like the same way when me and you and Harry and Norm went, I took you guys to Ozfest and they did
Yes.
the Team America fucking World Police song and everybody was rocking out to that. That was America Fuck Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's so cool.
So
Yeah, that was a good time. Thank you for
that
that.
was
That really
awesome.
was a fucking
Crumb showing up like goddamn Tiger Woods. The AI. So we went to Ozfest one year. I bought tickets for Chronic and a couple other guys that worked for me, right? We went to Ozfest. And Harry Crumb, black dude that worked for us, coolest motherfucker in the world. He shows up looking like khaki shorts and a polo shirt. And I was like, and it was right at the same time that Chris Rock did that movie where he came back as the white guy. It was like, take a wood, y'all.
Only a better driver.
Yeah, absolutely.
much better driver.
Absolutely.
Much better driver.
So all right, we're gonna wrap this up and say, even though the Hurricanes are currently down 3-2,
No, it's now tied 3-3.
it is now
Yep, I
tied
was waiting to.
3-3.
It's now
So
tied 3-3.
go Canes! And
Go
until
Canes.
next time, we'll see. All right, peace.
Adios.
Later,
See you
fellas.
guys.
See ya.